Hey, everybody, we're live. I'm Madalyn Sklar. Welcome to Social Media and AI Shortcuts. So glad you're here with us today. So what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about a variety of things. We're going to talk about Magi, my favorite all-in-one AI tool. They've got some updates they just did this week, so we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the Facebook blue check mark, and is it worth paying for? Interesting, right? And we're going to look at various social media strategies that will help you work smarter, not harder, which has been my motto for decades. I'm always keeping an eye out for different things going on that we can strategize when it comes to our social media. But first, let's welcome our awesome group of panelists that are here with us today. These are members of our community who just love coming and being a part of the conversation. Welcome, ladies. How are y'all doing today?
Good. Thanks for having us. Thanks for doing this. It's so fun.
We get a front row seat to the class.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all are so much fun. Well, I just love bringing people together. As y'all know, I've been building online communities since all the way back in the 90s, a long time ago. Looking back now, it's like, man, I'm a lot older now. But anyway, I love finding ways of bringing people together and having conversations. And I love that we're in a time now in 2025 where it's just so simple for us to come here together, and we're broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube and X. We're broadcasting all over the place. I really appreciate some of our panelists here adding their social media on here so that we're broadcasting to theirs as well. And I just like that opportunity to pass the mic around and let others share their thoughts on whatever we're talking about. So I'm just wowed by all of y'all being here with us today. So thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
And Bez made it over. Hey, Bez, I know you're usually making it during your lunchtime, so thank you for joining us as well.
You're welcome. And I tried to share, but it looks everyone's sharing, so they took up all the share slots, but it's all good.
Well, and Madalyn's going to share in her school what is it? Platform app?
On the school community, which
yes,
is available free for everybody to sign up. Just it's so simple to do. Just go over to school.com. It's SKOOL, school.com/Madalyn Sklar. That's a live shot of it right now. It's a forum. That's really all it is. It's a forum where we can have conversations. Everybody can post and share things. You can comment on the posts. Lots of information sharing that goes on here. So yeah, we're gonna coordinate that over in school. So Bez will be sure to. We're working on a system for that.
Yeah, and just so everybody out there realizes too, like Madalyn said, anybody can join the school platform. Yeah, and a lot of times we do follow up. She'll do follow-up of what we're talking about in this particular conversation. So you can always go in there and ask questions. Or do you have the replays in there too, Madalyn, right?
Yeah, so what I do is I do let me pull this back up real quick.
It's nice to be able to talk about stuff after the fact if people missed things.
Yeah, so what I do is I do a post every Friday that has, there is a link to the replay right up here at the top, and it's also down here at the bottom. And what I do is I have that with the timestamps and all the links that were mentioned in our live stream. So it's a way to have like a little follow-up place where you can go if you missed it, or you want to keep that discussion going. And so you can also just come in at the bottom and comment, and we can just keep that discussion going on.
Right. Perfect. Let me say too also, Madalyn, for everybody out here, when you have these shows set up, you're learning, Madalyn, all week and formulating what we're going to talk about. So it's always an amazing surprise. We don't know what focus we're going to take. And it's awesome because all of us are interested in not just X, not just YouTube, but the whole gamut and how we hop around from place to place. So it's always great. Thank you so much.
I love that. And it's so funny because I didn't really totally plan that, but as I'm kind of collecting like the different things for us to talk about, it's like, well, will people find this interesting or not? Am I the only one that finds it interesting? Don't know. So I'm usually still kind of working on it all the way up until right before we go live, because I'm still like trying to figure out like what things, and I like it to be interesting. And while sometimes we do spend like half an hour or 45 minutes on one thing, I don't always plan it that way. I kind of like that there's a variety of things. And today's one of those days where it's more of a variety of things. But because we're a community and we're having the discussion together, I love it if like, oh, this is something y'all are all interested in, and we just have a discussion going for 20 or 30 minutes. Like when I did that demo of Gamma, that really cool AI tool for presentations, I actually thought, we're hearing like some background.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Barb. Thanks, Barb. Yeah, if there's any background, just mute yourself. So like I wasn't planning for that to be such a long segment on Gamma, but y'all were all like, wow, this is cool. And like we just had this discussion that just went on for the longest time because everybody found it interesting. And so,
or you've had guests like Dustin, right? It's
yes, like Dustin from Magi.
Yeah.
And many times those are very last minute. Like it's not like, oh, let's have you, old school Twitter Smarter Chat was a guest each week and like a whole planned out thing. And while I love doing that, it's an incredible amount of work. And I like things to just be more simple. After spending, so many years doing it that way, I like that this is just more free flowing and like, hey, this is something cool that I came across. And while we're talking about it, something else might come up that we talk about. And I love that. So I'm just really loving this format. I'm glad y'all like this format as well. Before we dive in too deep in this, I want to let y'all know, I mentioned it last week. I was telling the story about how I came up with this new class that I'm going to teach called ChatGPT for Dummies. And I don't know if Jennifer's here I haven't seen her in the comments, but my friend Jennifer helped me create this image. And because I'm not very good at graphic design. But anyway, I'm really excited about getting back into some of the online training. It was something I always enjoyed doing, and I did it for a very long time. And so I'm super excited about getting back into that and teaching. I'm going to start with just a really simple class, ChatGPT for Dummies. I don't know. I was trying to think of something kind of cool. And whenever I come up with courses or anything, I always feel like whatever I call it needs to make sense. Like this is it. So I just want to help people that kind of get stuck with ChatGPT or don't really know much of what they could do with it. And look, I'm going to just flat out say I am no ChatGPT expert. I'm not some super AI expert, but I use it a lot. I play with these things a lot. So I feel like if anything, I've accumulated some knowledge where I'm not going to say, oh, I can help somebody that knows a lot. They'll probably know more than me. But I just want to help those that even though ChatGPT has been around a few years now, still not quite sure what to do with it. So, I mean, do y'all have like any thoughts on that? Like, are any of y'all using AI much? Are you
Absolutely.
Or you get stuck on things or not quite sure how to use it?
Yeah, just this week alone, I have a consulting client and she's putting out her first memoir about traveling the world solo. And her, her publisher got her book on NetGalley, which is, I don't know if anybody has heard of it, but you can create a free account as a reader and go read ARCs, which are advanced review copies, and leave reviews before the book even launches. So she said to me, how can I really utilize NetGalley? And I said, I'm not a publisher, so I typically don't get involved in the NetGalley stuff, but I went over to ChatGPT 4 and I said, can you please create a plan to utilize NetGalley, including little known secrets or things authors may not know or understand? And I mean, it gave me a ton of stuff. And so I shared that with her and she's like, oh, duh. Like she's like, I could have done that, but I knew what to put in for the prompts and how to be really specific. Right. And that's probably not something that she had worked with. So I found that really helpful and interesting because writers have so many questions about stuff. I don't know everything. So I went to ChatGPT and I was like, wow, now maybe I'll include this in my packaging. I have to obviously work it to be for me as a service, right? But it was really helpful to kind of like broaden my mind, on
That
the
is so cool.
possibilities. Yeah.
It's almost like it's replacing Google now, right? I catch myself going to ChatGPT a little bit more than
They
just going right
Google.
to Google to
Yeah.
ask it a question.
Yeah.
Who else? Cindy Lou, did you have
Yeah.
some thoughts on it?
Yeah, I did. I had one of my clients, she was going to tell me about this revelation she had. And she's like, it's a book that would write itself. So I was like, oh, can I record you? And so she let me record her in our session and she told me her revelation. Then I took that and put it into ChatGPT and said, pull me out an outline based on this revelation that she's had. And I literally got an outline for her book and sent it back to her. And I said, there you go. There's your book. Go ahead and write it now. I was like, you can
Wow.
edit it, you can change it, you can do whatever you want. But it was so much fun to be able to like just give her out
Yeah.
of her conversation an 8-chapter book.
That's
It's
amazing. Wow.
You know, I have I'm running a 10-week career sprint, and I had to take a day where I couldn't be there for the community, and so I had the one person in my group coaching program present, and because it's a free 10-week sprint, but she did how she preps for the interview using ChatGPT, but she just doesn't prep normally. She does a whole psychoanalysis of the person of the she's going to be interviewing with, and it is scary. Like, I had somebody from the intelligence community in one of the morning rooms, and he was like an executive, and I forgot that he was an intelligence community, and he goes, I'm from the intelligence community and I'm scared of you. But the way she did it was amazing.
Wow.
And she did some stuff that's, a little bit gray, black hat, and we didn't record the session for that reason. But she's going to be presenting tomorrow. She'll probably water it down a little bit so people aren't scared, but she's going to be doing that tomorrow, presenting, because I asked her to come back. It was that good. But she uses ChatGPT, and everything she does, you can do it in the free version. Now she has the paid one, but she's tested it out, and pretty much almost everything. Yeah, it was a use case that at the level she did it, I hadn't thought of. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. Anybody else have anything to share on that?
Well, I have on the ChatGPT, I've been using it since 2022. And I have tons of friends that have created courses on training on the use of ChatGPT. It's always changing, as you know. We just had the 4.5 and is now rolling out gradually to Plus users when we had it only being available to the Pro. And I think we're going to have big issues now because of the fees, the various fee changes that they're all offering. So I think it's a really good timing. But Madalyn, I've known you such a very long time, and I remember back when John Wiley and Sons trademarked the For Dummies thing digitally and in print. So I would be afraid to actually use the For Dummies in my title just because of the potential angst of John Wiley stepping up. And I quickly, while we're in this level, thank God for the internet, because I just went and I asked on ChatGPT, and I got a lecture. So
that is actually a great idea. Like, we should go ask ChatGPT about that. Well, I mean, this is a perfect segue into next up, which is Magi. And I don't want y'all. Look, if y'all get sick of me talking about Magi so much, please tell me. I mean, I don't want everybody to get so sick of me hearing about it, but it is such an amazing AI tool, and I use it pretty much every day. And I like that it's an all-in-one tool because it does everything. Because you go ChatGPT, and then you go over to Gemini, and then you go over to Claude, and if you're doing a subscription to all of them or some of them, it adds up. But it's like, wait a minute, I can just go to Magi and have one place for one fee and use everything, and it just blows me away. And I think this will be a fun exercise to go in there and ask it about, calling the class ChatGPT for Dummies and see. But here's what makes Magi so interesting is that we'll do this in just a moment. We'll go in there and we'll ask it first to ChatGPT, and then we'll ask Claude, and then we'll ask Perplexity, and we'll ask Gemini. I think it's kind of interesting to see, like, do they all give us consistent answers, or are they all kind of different with what they have to say? So what do y'all think? Does that sound interesting to kind of hear? Because that's one of the things I love about Magi is I can be in the middle of a chat and change it from ChatGPT to one of the others.
Right.
And to me, that's like huge. I love that. I remember when Magi first started. I mean, I've known Dustin for a long time, and when he came out with Magi, I'm like, this is great. But then when he added Claude, it was first a ChatGPT tool, and it was just a better user experience, because I remember at the time ChatGPT was just so blah. I remember the web page. I could not stand being on there. But his was just a much better user interface. But then Claude comes out, and he added Claude to it. And I wasn't even really familiar with Claude. I was hearing a little bit about it, but I had not gone over to that site to learn about that AI tool. But he incorporated it, and then he just kept adding and adding. It's like, whoa, this is pretty amazing. Like having all these different large language models and the image generator ones. I'll do a quick demo in just a moment, but let me first, for those who are like, I don't even know what Magi is, what are you even talking about, Madalyn? Let me play a short little video from Dustin where he talks about it.
All these other AI companies popping up, like Anthropic and Google, and all these other AI tools like image generators, video generators. And I realized the problem that people are going to encounter next is they're going to have to jump ship to every new AI thing that comes out. Claude comes out with something that's better than ChatGPT. Oh, now we got to go sign up for that. And then ChatGPT upgrades something else. And oh, now we got to go over to that. And now we got to use ChatGPT's image editor, which is a different login and a different app. And so I realized, like, no, this is too much for people. I'm just going to put it all in one place. One subscription, one login, all the tools in the world, and one way to access it, so you don't have to relearn different app interfaces. It's all the same, and it's comfortable, has tools for teams, has tools for business owners, makes everyone's lives easier, and you get all the best, most powerful AI tools under one roof. And that's what Magi has become.
I love that. That's why I like it, because it's an all-in-one. It makes life so easy for me. If anybody here has not checked it out yet, go over to bit.ly/MagiAI if you want to go check it out. Their plans start at $20 a month. That's the one I'm on. I'm able to do all the things I want to do at that plan, and it just works really well for me. And so, yeah, I think we ought to go inside of Magi and just go through some of the different large language models, LLMs, to see what it thinks about. And I do see in our little private chat here, y'all are throwing out some ideas for me. ChatGPT for newbies, ChatGPT for novices. Y'all are giving me some good ideas. But I just like ChatGPT or any other AI models, because we can ask it. That's how I formulated this whole online class that I want to teach. And yes, we got a comment here. What link to sign up for Magi? So I have that right in here on the screen, bit.ly/MagiAI. And if anybody signs up and you fall in love with it like I do, let me know. Like I always love hearing from people what they think of these tools that I talk about. And I only talk about ones. Whenever I'm on here talking about anything, is things that I use myself. I'm not going to ever talk about something I do not use myself. That's just how I operate. So it's something that I use, that I pay for, and I find value in, and I know that can help others. So that's why, you'll hear me talk about stuff like that. Yeah, let's go into Magi. Let me open up. Let's go on here. So I love it. Hi, Madeline. How can I help? I love that. And I mean, I don't know if others do this, but I am always super friendly when I'm in these AI tools, and I will thank them. And I love that, but that's just me because that's just very me to be like that. And I love how AI will talk so nicely back to you. But I just was reading this article the other day. Oh, I wish I'd saved it. Was talking about, should you do that? Should you be like friendly to your AI and doing stuff like that? And apparently they're like, well, if you, I guess somebody had experimented like being just to the point and then being like super nice and friendly. And I like talking to it like a person. That's just me. But it was saying something about like, oh, your results could be better if, you're just to the point and not like talking to it like a person. But
Oh, I was going to say, are your results better if it likes you? That's
I would think
so
so.
interesting. Well, that's funny because just the other day I was walking past my dog and I said, "Excuse me." And it's like the same kind of idea. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. What would
Well,
the
but-
downside be? Just less efficient if you're being
I
friendly
don't,
with it?
I'd have to do some experiments to see. I
I would
don't
think it
know.
would teach it to be kind,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
And
right?
I like that. Sean's asking, do you think Grok is better than ChatGPT and DeepSeek? I've been
Mm.
playing with Grok a little bit and it's inside of X, and it is available free for everybody
Mhm.
at the moment. I know they're going to just make it for the paid accounts, the premium accounts, but they've been letting everybody use it. So if you're on a free account, you should see Grok if you're on desktop, it'll be on the sidebar. Play around with it and see. I personally don't care for it that much. It's too snarky for my liking. But I will say one thing I do like about it is it gives you all these sources of where it collected, like because it
Yes.
goes out and collects it through the internet. And I like seeing all those sources. And Perplexity does that as well. Some of these platforms will do all that. But honestly, Shaw, I think it's just a preference thing. What I like to do is try the different ones and see what works best for me. And for me and I'll kind of rotate. I was all about ChatGPT for the longest time. Then when Claude came out, I'm like, oh, I like the way Claude writes stuff. So I really like Claude. Then Gemini, which is Google, came out, and I'm like, oh my God, Gemini, like, where's that one been all my life? That Gemini's been so great. But now I'm back to liking ChatGPT more.
I
And
have
it's
a
weird.
question. And Zaid, thank you so very much for being here on this live stream. My friend Zaid, there's Shah Zaid in the chat.
Nice.
He is in India. Magi, for instance, is that available globally to all countries equally? Do you know?
That's a good question.
Because he is in Kashmir, India, and I know sometimes certain countries are precluded from using some things.
I am not 100% sure, but that's something I could ask Dustin just to find out.
Yeah, it's just because particularly because I see Zaid there, and I love it. I know Grok is available, obviously, within X. Well, not obviously, actually. Even if it is within the same platform, sometimes different countries get access to different tools a little differently.
I would
So
imagine this
I don't
is
know.
global. I mean, it's an online tool, so I don't think there would be any issues with that. I would say try the link that I gave out, the bit.ly link, and see if it lets you sign up. I imagine it would. I can imagine, like, you're not downloading anything. This is a web-based tool.
Right.
And while there's not a Android or iOS app, it works really well on the browser on your phone. I mean, I do actually have it bookmarked as a browser on my phone, and it works great on my phone that way.
That's good to know.
But this is just a web-based tool. And I tell you that playing around with the different image ones, these image generation tools, it has all the main ones, DALL-E, Leonardo, Flux. Flux is really cool. You can do for the $20 a month, which is their lowest plan. And I love this. I'm so glad this popped up on the screen here. So basically, if you do ChatGPT Plus, that's the $20 a month plan, and compare it to Magi, $19 a month, and it's showing you side by side like all the different things, and you get more with Magi because it also includes Gemini, Claude, Meta,
Yeah.
Nova, Grok. Grok is in Magi. You get folders. I love the folders feature because it helps me stay super organized. You can save your prompts. You got Dolly, Flux. You got all these different image ones. So this tool is so amazing how much. And he's showing here that if you went and signed up for all of these plans individually, it would add up to a lot. Whereas you can get all of those in Magi.
Right. And Zaid, for everybody listening, do you understand? It's like one price for all of those, access to all of those. It's amazing. But also, Madalyn, can you say the thing too? Dustin was on this show a few weeks ago, and he was on here. He was explaining things. It was brilliant. I haven't messed with Magi yet, but I intend to. But what's the safety thing also, that other benefit that it makes sure it makes it so it's a little safer than some?
Yeah, he talked about that a while back on our show when he came on as our guest. So he was talking about that, Magi, he has his servers that run Magi. He has a web-based tool. So he is able to use all the different ones. He has an arrangement with all the different ChatGPT and all the others as a developer, and he has it on a private server. So I know, like, for instance, when DeepSeek came out, a lot of people were concerned because it's a China-based company. And he came on our show here and wanted everybody to understand that the version he has inside of Magi is on a private server in the US. So none of that, if anybody wants to see him talk, I have a YouTube, I have a clip of this. Actually, I could pull it up and play it real quick.
Well, and I don't want to hijack. I just know that Zaid is there and he's curious. So I want to ask for him.
Yeah,
because he's a good friend.
I do love that with Magi, they have like all the privacy in place for this. Yeah, let me play it because it's like a 3-minute clip. It's from what we did here back, this like a month ago. It was back in February. Let me play this real quick because he explained it so well, and I'd rather let him explain it in this clip because I didn't even know any of this stuff. And here I've been using Magi, for a couple of years now since it came out, and I did not even realize like the whole privacy and data thing and how they did it. So let me play this for y'all real quick.
Yeah, my policy is we will never use a model. We will never integrate with a company or app or anything that does not respect our users' privacy by default. So most of these models, when you go sign up for ChatGPT, and I just found out today that ChatGPT has been changing my privacy settings despite me changing them over and over again to not train on my data. So most of these models reserve the right to train on your data. So all the conversations you have, they have the right to retain that information and to train their future models on it. So if you're putting proprietary information in there, data that is, proprietary to you, or stuff that is, even patented, if you're putting it into these models, if you don't find the setting or they don't make it available for you to say, do not train on my data, then they will. And in all likelihood, somebody could, a year down the road be asking the AI something and it regurgitates something close to what your proprietary information might be because it's been trained on it. So it's very important for you to make sure if you're using something like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini that you find the setting, if it's available, it's not always available, that says, do not train on my data. Today I found ChatGPT has changed their language to be a little bit more manipulative. I was stunned. Hold on, let me find the exact word here because it was in plain sight and it has changed. So it says data controls, improve the model for everyone. That is what it's labeled now. And it's an on-off switch that you have to click through to get the off switch. And essentially what it means to improve the model for everyone is that you're allowing ChatGPT to train on your chats, train its newer models on your information. So I would recommend turning that off. With Magi, it's always off by default. We do not even offer the opportunity for you to turn it on. We will never train on your data. We will not allow any of our providers to train on your data. Your data, when it is sent to these providers to process and send back into Magi, they are required to delete it as quickly as legally they are allowed to. So yeah, make sure you double check those settings, because I always turn mine off on these other apps. Somehow it keeps getting turned back on.
Mm.
So now I showed the settings. So if you're on ChatGPT, this is at chatgpt.com. I walk through on this video. This is on my YouTube channel if anybody wants to go back and watch it another time. But I walk through exactly what he was talking about here.
Mhm.
And then I go to Gemini. I went to each one individually. Even though I'm using Magi, I will sometimes, go into these individually. And I thought, I want to make sure these are turned off. And there's Perplexity.
Well, especially when you're building classes and such, you're putting your whole thought process in there.
Exactly.
And for it to just pick up and somebody else could replicate your entire thing. That's,
that's important. It's
Yeah.
intellectual property. I think
especially because you're
Samsung-
brainstorming and getting a trust kind of with the AI that you're giving it your purest thoughts so that it can develop something to help you.
Samsung found out really quick. They put some a product they hadn't released, some product papers through it, and it was not supposed to be released, and oh my goodness, it was a big deal. Yeah, it was the
Good.
first known thing that got out on the wild, and it was proprietary and not for public.
Yeah.
Somebody in the team just dropped in some documents, and oh well, not. I wonder if they still have a job, but
Yeah. And I come from a litigation background. So we're all about redacting things and, privilege. Once it's out there, though, on the digital realm, it's really hard to bring it back. You can't. It's out there. So, yeah, be careful, everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go into ChatGPT. We're going to go into Magi and use ChatGPT, and we're going to ask it about, should I rename my, if we should rename my course for next week. So I'm in Magi. This is what it looks like. And at the top here, these are all the different models. So I'm going to start with ChatGPT, and I'm going to do, probably just the 4.0 mini, because also I love how Dustin has the multiplier on the right side here to let you know how, this is all like a credits thing, where some of these, like the brand new ChatGPT 4.5 is as a 20x multiplier. So you could go through your month's worth very quickly on this one. So I'm going to use like a lower one, which is the 0.1, which is ChatGPT 4.0 mini, which I think is enough because I'm not trying to do like some crazy reasoning or where I need a lot of something. So let's say, let's start off with, let me say I have a new online class coming out next week. It's called ChatGPT for Dummies, Mastering it. Okay, so I'm going to do what Barb said. Let's see. I'm going to say, am I going to get in trouble for calling it ChatGPT for Dummies? And let's see what ChatGPT is going to tell us with this, and we'll ask the other ones. Yep, using for dummies in your course title may pose some legal risk, as is trademark phrase associated with the well-known series of instructional books. It's advisable to consult with a legal professional or trademark expert to ensure your title doesn't infringe on any copyrights or trademarks. I'm wondering why, when I first was doing this last week, that ChatGPT, actually, I'm the one that came up with ChatGPT for Dummies. And ChatGPT is like, yeah.
It's probably, it's in context to what you're asking. I still have mine open if you'd like me to read it to you.
Sure.
Because in the 4.0, or I could share my screen if you wanted, it doesn't matter to me. But bottom line is that the different versions are impacted. And remember, you talked about the conversation issue and,
Yep.
and your conversational type with it. Well, it literally, I mean, I have coffee with ChatGTP in the early morning sometimes, and I will say crazy things, and its responses then are totally different. Like if I say, I feel like a bitch today, you got to help me get ready, and just like you would a girlfriend or something, and it comes up with that. And now I want to run something analytical, I mean, something really deep. And it does not give me the same response I would get if I went in there with my, my teacher hat on and said, hey, I've got to have the answer, a researcher, that hat on, it would be totally different. So that could be why.
Yeah.
But I was, when you guys were doing that, and I go, wait a minute, those guys, because I worked with Wiley & Son, and I said, my friend is creating a series of online courses for which the titles end in For Dummies. I thought For Dummies was trademarked for digital and print use long ago. Will my friend run into issues if she uses For Dummies in her course and online video titles? Yes, your friend was likely to run into legal issues if they use For Dummies in their courses and online video titles. The phrase For Dummies is a registered trademark owned by Wiley Publishing. Wiley has actively enforced its trademark rights in both print and digital content, including books, online courses, and other educational materials. And it goes and it justifies that, and it says, to avoid these issues, your friend should check Wiley's licensing options. It gives details on that. Consider alternative phrasing. Using a different but similarly effective title can help avoid legal trouble. Examples include Made Simple, Beginner's Guide, Step by Step for Beginners, Essentials for Newbies, Crash Course. So that's what it gave me, basically, but totally different going into details.
It's fun to see you be the experiment, Madalyn.
Well, that's part of what I love.
What not to do is sometimes the lesson.
Don't always listen to ChatGPT. Well, yeah, when I asked it to, I guess it helped by. Why is it not showing that? Okay, hold on. Let me redo this again. I'm trying to show the screen because it gave me some new ideas, and I think we'll have to. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm the experiment in real time here. So
right.
So if anybody missed last week's live stream. We always do this every Thursday, by the way. And I really appreciate y'all sharing this out to y'all's that we're live streaming on some of y'all's. So thank y'all for doing that.
Yes.
We got 165 people here hanging out with us. That's awesome. But if you ever want to go back to any of my replays, easiest is just go to my YouTube, Madalyn Sklar, and you can go back and last week I was telling the story about how this all came about with this experiment where I want to get back into some online training and teachings like I used to do a lot of back in the day, and I was trying to get some ideas of doing just a very simple beginner's ChatGPT. And that when it was asking, I was doing this back and forth with ChatGPT, and it was asking me like, what would you want to call this? And first it said, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? I said, ChatGPT for Dummies. And so it was like, okay, ChatGPT for Dummies, master AI in minutes. I'm like, okay, I like the sound of that.
So it's not going to correct you if it sees a problem.
I guess not. But, I just asked it, let's give me some other suggestions. So ChatGPT Essentials, Master AI Quickly. That's a good one. Beginner's Guide to ChatGPT, AI Made Easy. Okay, I like that one a lot. I think that's a good one. Beginner's Guide. I want it to be like just a super simple, and I'll probably build a whole series on this. I just want to start with just something simple and easy. Then it's got Unlock ChatGPT or Fast Track to AI Mastery. And this is what I love about using Magi and these types of AI tools is that it gives me, back before all this, we had to brainstorm, we'd write it down or type it in our computer, and we're trying to think of different things. And I just always felt limited with that, right? Because gosh, I want to hear from others. Who knew others would be, AI? But it gives me ideas of things I didn't always think about. And that's what I love about it. So I'm not just sitting here copying and pasting every little thing it tells me, but I'm using it as my brainstorming tool. Hey, Larry, good to see you. I'm using it as a brainstorming tool to help me figure out. Larry says use a thesaurus. Yes, I remember back in the day before computers, right, where you pull out your my paperback thesaurus, and that was always helpful. But the internet really changed everything. But yeah, I'm so glad this topic came up, because I will definitely redo my title for this course, because I didn't think about that. So Barb, thank you so much. I don't want to get in any legal trouble. Now the thing is, this course is going to be free, so I can't get into legal trouble, because I'm not charged. If I was charging a fee,
Oh,
yeah.
yes, you can.
Yes, you
dear.
can. Yes.
Absolutely. I've been working with attorneys for 40 years. I'll guarantee you can get in trouble.
On a free?
You bet. Yeah.
Wow,
You
that's
bet.
scary.
It's copyrighted,
Gotcha.
It's trademarked.
trademark and
Trademarked.
copyrighted.
Copyright.
Yeah.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Gotcha.
So it's
But they-
helping your credibility. It's even just
Right.
to
as an
affect your
individual.
professional life. It's helping you, even if money isn't exchanged.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
If it's a registered copyright and trademark is registered,
Yeah.
all of those you are paying the full fine,
Yeah.
and you got to run to your liability insurance. Just make sure you're covered. So,
Well,
yeah.
you would think
Well-
that ChatGPT would know this, but not necessarily.
I don't
So-
know, that
Yeah.
lawyer that used a case from ChatGPT that wasn't a real case. that was-
Right.
Yes.
Yes, I remember that.
Absolutely.
It'll tell you what you want to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Maria.
Yeah.
has-
That's a good
hard.
one. That's a good way of
Yeah.
putting it. Let's go back into Magi and let's try asking it the same thing but with a different. I really like Gemini a lot. I'm going to ask Gemini Pro, the 2.0 Pro, and I'm going to put the same prompt in about the class and see if it gives us a different answer about, getting in trouble for calling it ChatGPT for dummies. Oh, Gemini likes me. Okay, Madalyn Sklar. Regarding, see, I like that. I mean, call me a dork, but I love when it's more personalized like that. ChatGPT was like using for dummy. No, it's like we're getting right to the point. Okay, so Gemini 2.0 Pro says there's a potential trademark issue with using for dummies. It's registered to John. Now, see, ChatGPT did not specifically say John Wiley and Son, so that's interesting that
Mine
Gemini, but Gemini is Google, so that would not surprise me that Google would know. Using it without permission could lead to legal challenges. I can suggest something else. Yes, please.
And did I see that you actually used the registered trademark name on Post?
Yes,
Yeah.
on her flyer. Yeah.
Yeah, I would take
all
it
down.
down. Just my FYI.
Yeah, I'll take them all down. All right, so here's some alternatives. ChatGPT made easy. Master AI in minutes. ChatGPT for beginners. So that's all giving me ideas. So this is good. Now let's try asking. Let's do one more. So any thought? Oh, let's ask Grok. Let's see what Grok has to say.
And
Well-
Madalyn, gentle reminder, you wanted to get to the Facebook stuff too.
Yeah, I know, because the Facebook. Yeah, thank you for the heads up. Another reason why it's great having y'all here, because the Facebook
Keep her in
thing
line.
the Facebook thing is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So let's see what Grok. And let's see, is Grok going to be snarky about it? Okay, Madalyn Sklar, using for dummies in your course.
Says she loves it. She really loves it. Right? I'm in AI.
It does mention John Wiley. This one's basically saying the same thing that Gemini did. So interesting. So this is just, and the reason why I showed this is just another cool thing about Magi is I'm in this one chat and I can just keep changing at the top which model I'm using. And I just think that is so cool.
Oh, so you
Anyway.
don't have, because I use Magi.
She doesn't
too, so
have
you
to
don't
retype.
You don't have to retype it.
No.
Oh, that's nice.
It's just
Oh.
shifting it.
Got it.
Really?
Okay.
But how would it know? Like if I just come up here, all right, so let's go do Perplexity. So what do but I still need to type something to start.
Yeah. You'd have
Oh, are
to
you
copy-
moving the question to each of the platforms?
Yeah.
I was just basically copying the first, up here,
Oh.
and I love that it has the little copy. So I hit the little copy, and I just been, I'm changing it. So now I'm in Perplexity, and I just
Oh, okay. So you
paste
are
in.
inserting the question again
Yeah.
into each thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I've been doing. I mean, if there's
Okay.
another way, I would love to know. But
So it's a new thread every time you change the model.
no, this is one long thread.
One long thread.
This is one chat. So when I say chat, we're still in the same thing here. So what does this tell me? It has a limited number of words it can remember. Oh,
That's why I was saying one chat or one thread, because it starts to there's only so many syntax different models can process before it starts to forget what was at the top of your
gotcha. Because I
request.
started with ChatGPT, then I switched to Gemini, then I did Grok. So it'll just show you all the different ones, and then Perplexity is basically saying the same exact thing too. But yeah, so I will work on renaming because I don't want to get in any trouble. So thank y'all so much for the heads up. Yeah, there's another piece of news. The other stuff is not nearly as important, but the Facebook one is quite interesting, and I definitely wanted to share this today. And shout out to Barb for tagging me in this. But Maury Smith is like the Facebook expert. She has this great community called Social Scoop. I don't think it's private. Isn't this just a public group?
No, it's private.
Oh, it is private. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think
okay.
Maury would get on to you about it though.
This is
but that's not saying that's the fact. You'd have to check with Maury. But you brought me to Twitter. She brought me to Facebook.
Yeah, she's
And
like the
so
queen of Facebook.
That's what she calls herself. And I'm telling you, that's the most mind-blowing post I have ever read in that group.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to bring this up, because she's talking about, this coming from her is a big deal. So she does, as y'all can see, she has the blue check mark, so she has her verified account, and she's telling everybody in her community, she posted this yesterday, that she is canceling her Meta verified subscription on her personal Facebook and her professional Instagram account. And I'm like, what? She's going to do that? So I was kind of diving deeper into the whole getting verified on Meta, because it's something I've never done. And it's $14.99 a month, so $14.99 a month to be verified. Let me pull up the verification page so y'all can see, do a lot of people do this? Like, I've had no interest in having a paying for a blue check mark on Meta, which is, Facebook and Instagram. Does anybody care?
No.
Well,
I'm curious. I'm curious.
I have clients that want, because they had it before, so they feel like to continue it. They, like, one was an actor, and so they just there's a certain amount of like ego related to that.
It feels more professional, credible.
Yeah. And also I think for the fraud prevention part of it, that's really what's more important, I think, for people who are, public facing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are in Maury's group, if she goes back to that, you will notice the top photos in that group off to the right are things, are images that I put in there just yesterday. And the feedback has been incredible about how they're not delivering on the verified. That thread, for no other reason, join that group to read that thread, because it's profound. But on that recent media, that black there, I have had numerous friends who have the digital creator accounts and the pages, blue marked pages. They are getting these spam attacks. And even if you set them, which you should do, of course, set filters, they're still coming up. So Facebook's not doing, or Meta is not doing its job in coming through on their products and making sure that it's nice and secure for all of us.
Yeah.
But didn't they
Well,
back down and say, hey, we're gonna free speech this, free speech that, and
That's
we're
not,
gonna
yeah, that's not what we're talking about, though. This has to do, people taking over your account and so forth. And it's not about whether you posted free speech things or not. It's just literally taking over your account. There are such bad players out there that they do everything they can. Sorry.
Tanya? Sorry.
do they take over accounts or do they copy them?
Yes, they take them over. They're okay in that, like the one, I think there's even I have another image there about what it says on the media there and in that in order to correct it, you need to click on a link, right? And it's not a meta link.
Yeah.
And that's where they are able to take control.
huh.
So you have to be really, really careful because they are literally taking accounts down. And it's all because don't forget, Meta is using AI to assist with all these issues. So
Right.
that's the bad part but the problem, I mean, because I'm in groups that are actually run by Facebook personnel, and I'm telling you, the grievances being posted recently are bad news. And I mean, it's just, there's all of it to me stems around the untrained use of AI.
Yes, it's premature to let it loose like
Yes,
this.
exactly.
Yeah, agree.
Thank you. Yeah.
But on the blue check, the verification, I think the same thing happens on X. The misconception is that an account that has a blue check is already vetted. And that's not necessarily true. There are bad actors with blue check marks. And I think there's this subliminal, safety that people are thinking. Some communities, they'll only let people with blue check marks into the community. They're giving
Right.
the impression that blue check means you're credible.
That's
and it
true.
doesn't always. I've turned off my DMs to only accept messages from blue checks, for instance. I did it temporarily. I got more junk than less, so I changed it back. I have plenty of friends that don't have blue check marks. It doesn't mean you're a good person or a bad person. And I think that's really important for everybody to know, no matter what platform you're on. That blue check mark is not giving you a green flag to interact with this person without checking first. Don't trust any of these apps on that regard. Same thing with LinkedIn. LinkedIn has blue check marks too.
Yeah.
They're all trying this.
They have blue check. LinkedIn has blue check marks?
Yes. I don't have one.
You mean the premium user?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It is verified.
It's a verified account.
And
that's but you have to actually that's with an actual ID and
that's how X is too.
Yeah, and so is Facebook.
Yeah,
On getting the blue check mark, you have to do that. I can't get
verified on LinkedIn because I use a shortened name of my full legal name.
I'm the same.
But I can get verified on everybody else.
Right.
I don't know. It's the same to me. It all looks the same to me. The blue check, the verified account. All of them have different layers, obviously, and the price is going up on some. Some are free, right? LinkedIn doesn't charge.
LinkedIn is free, yeah.
Right, yeah. But it gives people a false sense of security that they're dealing with people.
Exactly.
So be careful, yeah.
But I think the most important thing about what Madalyn has shared here is that Mari is just like Madalyn was just right up there when Twitter came out. Mari was the queen of Facebook from the very beginning. I mean, she just really took it on, embraced it. And I mean, they've paid her to do stuff, tons of things. And when she says, I'm not renewing mine, forget the blue check mark. It's going to, or because it is Mari, they will actually come to the party and fix it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounded like they haven't so far. But those comments in Mari's post, everybody's like,
exactly,
I'm canceling this too.
Who she is and the role she's played. And I can tell you that in the Facebook run groups that I'm in, that post, a lot of those people are in Maury's group, and that post is an issue.
Yeah.
So it's definitely wake up time.
For sure. So thank you for tagging me in that, Barb.
Sure.
Because, yeah, that was interesting. And Rachel, you wrote an article. Do you want me to share that real quick on the screen? You want to talk
Yeah,
about?
sure. I wasn't sure how to do that, but yeah, I wrote an article specifically about this scam. I go into client accounts and my own accounts daily and sometimes they get hit with like bot attacks. One of my clients had 40 of these come in like an hour.
Oh my gosh.
And like I saw Larry said he used to report them, or Deborah said, I used to report them to no avail. So now I just mark as spam. I just mark them all as spam and delete them because, and I block them, of course, as well.
Yeah.
But I also go in, another thing you can do though is, of course, don't click on these. They do show up as a legit notification, and they'll also come to your email. And that's why people think they're real. So we have to go back to don't click on anything. And if you really have a question, you can go into your settings and it'll say whether you've received an email from Facebook regarding whatever the issue is. So don't ever click on anything. Just go in and find out. Yeah, these are actual examples.
Yeah.
This is
None
great.
of them are real.
So,
well, they're not very good at responding though. When you ask a question, why did this happen?
AI generated. Yeah, they're just looking for clicks.
Yeah. So I just say that so people aren't extra frustrated, because they'll be like, nobody returns my email. No, they don't really respond.
But these can be very, very scary, especially for people who have absolutely no idea that this is a scam and this is fake.
Exactly.
We have scheduled your page to be deleted. I get panicked messages from clients going, oh my God, what do I do? And I'm like, nothing. Don't click on it. Don't touch it. I will take care of it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do look quite legit. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I agree with Deborah.
Sometimes the profile photos are pretty funny on the accounts that they're coming from. I've seen some strange ones that are so obviously not legit. Anyway, yeah.
I'll have links to, like, one of the things I always do after this live stream is over on my YouTube channel is the best place to go for the replay, because in the description I'll add links to all the things. So like I'll have that article from Rachel in there. I'll have the link to Maury Smith's post. I always put timestamps and links to everything from this. It won't be until a little later today, but by the end of the day, Thursday, I usually have it in there. And it's just, I do it on YouTube because YouTube is the easiest way to go back to the replay. And since we have people here from other social media platforms, y'all may not necessarily know me because some of our lovely guests here have added it to their social media. Let me just real quickly, I'll pull up my YouTube so people will be like, okay,
Madalyn, let me also mention too, we were talking a couple of weeks ago about how live streams are disappearing on Facebook, but they're also disappearing on X. And so one of the greatest things about YouTube is that they stay there. So it's a good idea to go find Madalyn, you guys, on YouTube, because some of these lives might not be available in a month or whatever.
Oh yeah, Facebook is already taking them down.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's not there forever like it used to be.
Yeah, we talked about that recently here, that Facebook has changed their policy. Live streams, the replays of live streams will only be up for 30 days. But you'll get a notice ahead of time if you have some Facebook Lives to let you know. They're going to give you some time so you can go. Now, I use StreamYard. And the beauty of StreamYard is that I can download a copy right off, because like we're in StreamYard right now, but we're live streaming to a lot of different places right now. We're on my Facebook, YouTube, and X, but then we're also on some of y'all's Facebook, YouTubes, or not YouTube. I think y'all are doing Facebook and X.
I'm doing YouTube and X. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't know.
But
I forget what I did.
We're in a lot of places, but this is my YouTube channel, and replays are so easy to access on YouTube. Facebook's a little bit harder. You have to scroll down to go find it. X, is the worst for replays because you just cannot. Right now on X, we're live and it is a post. And you'd have to scroll down my feed to go find, if you want to go find last week or the week before, you have to scroll down to go looking for it. They're not easy. It's one of the things.
And they may disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's even though we're on StreamYard, the platform treats it as a live. No matter how many people are talking right here, it's still coming in as a live stream, even though it's StreamYard.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. StreamYard is just the platform where we're able to
Yeah.
be in multiple places. But we appreciate everybody being here. We have over 200 people here right now watching us from the different platforms. Thank y'all so much. We really appreciate it. We do this every Thursday. I host this with our lovely guests that come and participate. They're just part of our community. And look, it's really actually very easy to come join our community. We use the school platform for this, skool.com. Very easy to come sign up. It's free. So it's a place where we can continue these discussions. But also, as a little side note, there is a calendar in here, and I always have the link to the YouTube. So let's say, you like, oh man, last week was such a great conversation. How can I go back and listen? It'll always have the YouTube link that'll go directly to it. You can always find it.
Madalyn, let me ask you about X. Are you still doing a community on X? Or have you kind of put that to the side?
I have a community on X. I just don't really use it. When that feature was new, I was all about it. But that was also back when Twitter was a bit different. But yeah, you can see it's right here is social media and AI.
Is it still at your profile? Yeah. Because that might be a good place to put, people can look there maybe for your replays. I don't know.
I just haven't.
It doesn't have much. Yeah.
They could have done so much more with it, with the communities feature, but they didn't.
And it keeps getting pulled apart more and more. But
yeah, I mean, there's more features in the community on X now, but back when Twitter first started the communities section, we all thought it was going to be like a Facebook group. Like we really were so excited.
I persevere anyway. I will not be stopped. But we'll see. Yeah. Facebook's easier to build a community. That's for sure.
Well, I really like the school platform. School's a little bit different. As the owner of mine, I have to pay. There's it's not free, but you get a lot of great features. And let's face it, if you're doing like we know Facebook groups, that's always, I've done plenty of Facebook groups in my time. Yes, it's free. There's some great perks. People are on Facebook already, so it's just easy. But how many times have we all complained, like, how come I don't see in the notifications that, there's something in a Facebook group?
It changes without warning.
And it's frustrating. It can be very frustrating. The way the algorithm changes all the time. And then don't even get me started on censorship stuff over on Facebook. A lot of these platforms have a lot of, I know it doesn't affect everybody. I guess depends on what your conversations are about. Like this conversation, not going to have issues, but other conversations that I host, we run into censorship issues, and it's ridiculous that keeps happening. So a platform like School, it allows me, like, okay, I pay a monthly fee to host a community there, but there's going to be no censorship. I have all the control, and there's a lot of value in that.
And just to reframe that once again, Madalyn is paying out of her pocket to host that community. To the members that join, they do not need to pay. Madalyn is the host there. So it's a no host bar or hosted bar.
I could charge
drinks on Madalyn.
There you go. I could charge a fee on my School platform, but I choose not to for this one. I wanted to just be simple and easy for people to join. It's not going to cost them anything, but they get access to, the discussions there, and y'all are all part of it. So that's, for people that want to get more involved in this community and be part of the conversations and have the opportunity to come up on screen on here like what we're doing. All you got to do is just go sign up on my School over at school.com/Madalyn Sklar. That's what it looks like when you're on the page. And it's like a Facebook group, but I think better, and so I'm always posting things that I come across to share in the conversation. Like, we didn't really get to it, but Magi has. So this would be another reason to join, because like this was on my list to talk about, but that Magi has added more. They got the brand new ChatGPT 4.5. They got the brand new Claude 3.7 Sonnet.
Wow.
They've added a whole bunch of new features. So I did a post about it. And I'm just,
And just to clarify, Madalyn's not being paid by Magi to
No.
brag about them.
I brag about them because I love these tools. I use it every day and it helps me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why I talk about it. It's incredibly helpful to me, and I just think it might help others. Y'all certainly don't have to sign up for it, but you might find that it works really good. So I'll put that link back up again if anybody missed that. So yeah, we do
right.
this every Thursday. Y'all come back again next Thursday. Come hang out with us, and it's always a fun discussion.
Yep. Thank you, Madalyn.
Thank
you,
you.
everybody, for watching.
Thank y'all
Thank
for
you.
being here. Yeah, we got so many
Leave
people watching.
questions, even on the replay. Leave questions and
Yes.
comments wherever you're watching this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hashtag replay. Let us know
Where are
you're
you watching
replay.
from, by the way? Tell us where you are in a general sense.
Y'all
All
are
right.
so great. Thank y'all so much. We'll be back next Thursday. Mark your calendars every Thursday at 1:00 Eastern. We got another New Zealander here with us. You're not the only one, Simu. Yay. Probably somebody you know on your social media that you're
Good
watching
morning.
the show.
Probably my channel.
New Jersey. We got New Jersey. Hello. Organic Botanicals.
Yeah,
Cool.
Canada. Yay, Canada. We love Canada. I love Canada. Thank y'all so much for being here. We'll be back next week. We'll see
All
you
right.
again. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so
Bye.
much.
Bye.